Appreciate all the views on my run of the Traxxas Factory 5 33 Hot Rod Coupe. Now it's time to talk about the pros and cons of this particular vehicle. Had an opportunity, like I said, to run it on 2S. Remember I used this gold bat? Not a bad battery. Newer ones may not be as good as the older ones. That's an older one, actually. I've had that for like 2 years, believe it or not. And this is the Z Power 3S. Also had a chance to run it on that battery. And in comparison, obviously, you feel a lot more power with the 3S than the 2S, but that's not what I want to get at. It's some real cool stuff that I kind of found out about my power system and things like that. But getting into the pros and cons of this, we'll talk about that other stuff as we go. But pop this hood so we can kind of look at it while I'm talking. So, and yeah, I didn't have this fan when I ran it on 3S. I didn't have this fan. I had this heat sink on there. And my temps, I really should have recorded my temps, man. I know we don't talk about temps a lot in these videos, but it's important. You know, it's the difference between a car fire and a successful run, right? So, at any rate, the temps on this thing were real good with this heat sink. Really good. I ran it on 3S. It was really, really, really running cool. I was surprised. I took my heat gun. Now the heat sink, yeah, it was warm. It was dissipating some heat. It showed a reading of like 167 degrees, something like that, somewhere in the 160s. But the motor itself was still operating in the 140s range. And the ESC, it was amazingly cool. And I'm gonna show you why that is. This is something I gotta let you check out. And I'm gonna leave links to descriptions for all of this stuff, the fan that I got on here, the motor that I got, the ESC. But let me plug this in so I can kind of give you a comparison and now an understanding of why the temps were so good. So you see I turn it on, you can hear the fans. Actually, you can hear both the fans running pretty good, you know. I'm getting some decent air. I can feel the air moving around the heat sink here, blowing down on my fingers. You know what I mean? I can feel that. That's good. And this thing here is really doing well, this fan here. But let me just let you check this out when I put it on 3S. And I didn't know that this particular ESC did this. Like I say, this cheap Chinese knockoff from Amazon. You know, I guess I shouldn't say that, cheap Chinese knockoff. It didn't have a brand. I can only assume it surpassed Hobby. But I can, like I said, I'll share the link. But listen to this. That's crazy, right? I mean, the fan, it actually ran cooler on 3S than it did on 2S. And that's why. And that air and the air from, you know, it's just crazy, man. And even the top fan is blowing just a little bit harder with it on 3S motor fan. So I know now this setup is gonna run real cool because I didn't have a problem in the previous run. As a pro, this thing is really easy on your electronics. Servo still good. You know, it's a good platform, guys. I can't complain at all. It's a good platform, you know. Obviously, this is the Fortec, you know, line. This is the 3.0 line, which is cool. It's just, you know, everything is great. If you had a Fortec 2.0, then you know the 3.0 is sweet too. You know that. But now I got to get into the cons of it. You know, Traxxas has a reputation for kind of being like Apple. You get a Traxxas, certain models, you don't see a lot of aftermarket parts for. Like you can't really get tires for this. Traxxas has 3 different types because, you know, they have the Corvette Stingray on this platform, the 3.0 platform, and they have the Toyota Supra on this platform. And they also obviously had a Factory 5 coupe on this platform. So those are your 3 tire options. You want a different look, you gotta convert it into one of those other 2 cars, because you can only use the body that comes with the factory 5 coupe on this particular chassis setup, right? Or then you have to start changing things. If you want to run the truck body, you got to take off the rear body mount, put the truck body mount on. And that's a little thinner. If you want to run the Vet Stingray, you got to change the front end bulkhead. You got to change the rear end bulkhead. Not and then you can run that body. If you want to run the Toyota Supra, same situation. You got to change some things around, and you can use any of those tires. So that's really the only con that I have with this, because outside of that, everything is the same as the 2.0 platform. Oh, I forgot to mention this. You will have to use Traxxas. I cannot remember the name of that car. The little Traxxas truck that they have. That's where these shocks are from. I'm sure of that. The little 1/18 scale. The Traxxas trucks, the little Traxxas vehicles that they use on the 1/18 scale. Those. That's where these shocks come from. So, you can get, if you break a shock, you can replace it. But you don't, unless you look up Traxxas, you won't find aftermarket shocks for this. I ain't even look into it, so I don't know. If you guys have information on that, feel free to let me know in the comments. That's pretty much it, though. I mean, there's not a whole lot to be said about this as far as that goes. This is a sweet setup. It's got everything that you need. If you want to do aftermarket parts, you want to change the support brace, front support brace, Hot Racing got it. You want to change the drive axles, Hot Racing got it. You can get Traxxas, but they say the Traxxas ain't all that great. It's tend to break. That's crazy for $25 a set, but hey, who am I to judge, right? Anyway, if you want to change the spur gear cover, the gear cover, as it were, all together, you can change that. The Hot Racing has that. Those are really the only real upgrades that you can really use, I guess, as far as this go from Hot Racing. I mean, let me. I don't want to misspeak that. You can get like the upgrades that I put on here for my drive cups. You can get those. Hot Racing got those. Traxxas got those. You can change your carriers, hub carriers. You can change that kind of stuff, because all of those upgrades from the 2.2 line will work on this car. The only thing that you're going to have an issue with, like I said, is tires and body selection. I even like the 2.2 better in terms of that, because you can use any aftermarket body on that. And everybody knows that a 1/10 scale touring car, drift car, they all use the same size tires, So this is just an an odd size, but I like it. You might have to get a 2.2 and make a comparison. If y'all want to see me do that, shoot me a comment. But other than that, this surprisingly high-powered ESC and motor combo. I mean, I'm shocked about that. I mean, I should be talking about the car's performance itself. I mean, it performed well with this setup on here. It really did. And to find the battery, this is something that I think is interesting. I don't know if anybody ever made this comparison, but the 2S battery is a little bit bigger than the 3S battery. I guess it's the case that is in. So I'll chalk that up to the case that it's in, which is why, because this is a soft pack. That's what I had to get to fit 3S in here. I didn't find any other ones for the price I wanted to pay. So there's that. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, this is a sweet ride, man. That's it. The cons are negligible, and really, if you really think about it, you do have a lot of versatility with this in terms of those cons being your cons. If you want to turn around and now have yourself a Toyota Supra, you can have that on this platform. You want a vet, you can have that on this platform. Or you can just ride like this like I'm gonna do, this one of a kind, so to speak, you know, a little hot ride, old school, because you know I'm old school, so I'm all about the old school. Not to say that I don't like the Supra and the vet. I may eat my words and do it one day, but at any rate, I just wanted to get into what I noticed about this car, what you do have to look at if you get this car. You know, you get one of these, you're gonna have some, you know, you're gonna be stuck with Traxxas for some stuff. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? So at any rate, I appreciate, like I said, all the views. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the video, share the information, share the knowledge. And remember, if you ain't crashing, you ain't bashing. This is TKS Hobby, signing out. Peace.